My beloved child, listen deeply, for this is not just another utterance like before, is a divine awakening I have long prepared for you. It is a calling wrapped in gentleness, yet carrying an authority that cannot be denied. My child, there comes a moment for every soul when the veil between heaven and earth begins to thin, and it is in that very moment that I come to touch your heart with a purpose far greater than anything you have ever known. Today, that moment has come. I have not come to frighten you, but to open your eyes to a greater reality, one where my presence is moving, where my angels await my command, and where your destiny is unfolding in a sacred encounter that I ordained before the foundation of the world. You are not here by accident. Every beat of your heart as you receive these words is a sign that my spirit is stirring within you, like the whispering wind in the Garden of Eden in the beginning. Recall the recent moments when you sensed something shifting, something you couldn't name. Perhaps it was a strange dream, un inexplicable urge, or a sudden stillness amid the noise of daily life. That was preparation. I have not been silent. I have spoken to you through the smallest of signs. My angels have come and gone, leaving behind subtle traces, hoping you would recognize them and turn your heart toward me. My child, the sacred encounter I have arranged is neither an illusion nor something foreign to you. It is part of your journey with Maya, new chapter you are now being invited to step into. And to do that, you must awaken your spirit, quiet the noise of the world, and open your heart wide. I know this is not easy. I see the burdens you are facing, the weight of pressures, and the nameless responsibilities that exhaust you. But even in the midst of it all, I am calling you into a sacred rest, where your soul will be renewed. Do not think that only the perfect are chosen to meet me. I do not seek flawless people. I seek willing hearts. Are you feeling unworthy? Are you wondering why I have chosen you? Remember the words I spoke through the prophet Isaiah. Even I, am he who blots out your transgressions for my own sake, and I will not remember your sins. Isaiah 43:25. My grace is not dependent on your achievements, but flows from my unwavering love. I have seen you in those silent nights when your tears fell without a sound. I have heard the cry of your heart when you thought no one was listening. I have walked beside you down quiet roads when all hope seemed distant. And now, I come to remind you, I have never abandoned you. The encounter that is about to unfold today is a confirmation, a clear sign to your soul that I am still here, still holding all things in my hands. You do not need to do anything to deserve this moment. What I seek is a tender heart, a spirit willing to listen, and a soul ready to yield. For this encounter is not only to bless you, is to reshape your faith, to open new horizons in our relationship. The angels I have sent do not come to perform wonders for spectacle. They come bearing sacred messages, divine decrees, encouragement, and at times, gentle correction. Prepare your heart and create a space where you can hear my voice, even if only for a few minutes each day. It doesn't need to be anything elaborate. It could simply be a quiet corner in your home, the stillness of early morning, or a windswept afternoon beneath an open sky. What matters is not the place itself, but the posture of your heart. When your heart turns toward me, that space becomes holy. In that sacred atmosphere, my angels will be present, and you will begin to sense a shift, not only in how you think, but also in how you feel, in how you perceive life, and even in how you live it. My child, I am now unveiling a part of the greater plan I have long prepared for you. This is not something random or accidental. It does not come too early, nor too late, but arrives at the precise moment I know you are ready. Do not be alarmed when things begin to shift and the familiar is unsettled, for this stirring is not a threat, but a sign of transition. And where there is transition, there is encounter. I know that stepping into something unfamiliar can stir fear within you. But do not forget, this is not a journey you must take alone. I will go before you, walk beside you, and shelter you with the strength of my mighty arm. Let these words rest deeply in your heart. Do not rush through them. Allow each word to gently unlock the doors that have remained shut for far too long. Let your heart become soft again, like the earth after the rain, ready to receive the seeds of a divine encounter, ready for roots to grow deep and bear lasting fruit. My beloved child, this is a moment of awakening. This calling does not arise from a person, nor from a dream or an event. It comes directly from me, your Creator. I am calling your name amid countless souls because there is a role within my divine plan that only you can fulfill. The encounter that draws near is not just a moment, it is the gateway to a new journey, a path that leads you into the beauty and glory of my presence. Once your heart is open to receive, the signs of heaven will begin to reveal themselves quietly but surely. They may come like soft beams of light piercing through the haze of this material world, not loud, not always obvious, but undeniably real, and always marked by my presence. The angels I have sent do not arrive with fanfare, nor do they overwhelm with blinding brilliance. Instead, they come in the gentle rustle of the wind, in whispers that feel like breath against your soul, in moments when your heart is stilled by a silence too deep to explain. You may not see them with your physical eyes, but your soul will recognize them. When the atmosphere around you changes and becomes saturated with a peace that words cannot describe, you will know. When a forgotten song suddenly resurfaces in your heart like a promise reborn, or when a verse of scripture you once read now strikes with living power, that is the moment when my angels are drawing near. They do not follow human schedules, but respond only to my divine timing and command. I have instructed my angels to remain quiet and subtle, so that only the hearts attuned to my spirit will notice. I do this not to hide from you, but to protect the sacredness of your freedom. I do not want to frighten you or pressure you into belief. I long for you to enter into this encounter, not through fear, but through longing, not out of compulsion, but out of desire. So when you sense a change in the atmosphere, when you feel a warmth with no explanation, or when you sense the presence of someone invisible standing beside you, know that I am near, and that my angels are fulfilling the will of heaven right where you are. Know this: I have sent my angels to your home, not only to guard it, but to awaken something within your spirit. You may suddenly feel a stirring to pray more, to worship spontaneously, or simply to sit quietly in my presence without needing to say a word. These are not coincidences. They are the soul's natural response to the holy vibrations my angels are releasing into your space. Do not resist these promptings. Do not question whether you are imagining things. Let your heart remain tender, and allow my spirit to lead you into deeper places of communion with me. I want you to understand that my angels do not come to replace me, but to reflect my love and to carry out the decrees I have written for you. When they surround your home with their presence, they are establishing a heavenly, barrier-blocking dark schemes, strengthening you in your weakest moments, and opening doors no man can shut. They do not act on their own accord, but walk in full obedience to me, and it is that very obedience that becomes the key to unlock miracles you once thought were forgotten. You will begin to notice the little things you used to overlook. A child says something that moves you to tears. A stranger smiles at the exact moment you're about to collapse. Or a breeze suddenly stops you in the middle of your hurried day. My child, none of these are coincidences. Each one is a part of the sacred symphony I am composing for your life. And my angels are the faithful musicians who carry the melodion that only an awakened heart can truly hear. My beloved, I want you to know that some angels are sent to guard, others to heal, and there are those specifically appointed to deliver you. They are dispatched at the precise moment and place I have chosen. You may find yourself in the midst of a trial, crying out for help, and even before your prayer is fully spoken, an angel has already received the command and departed from heaven to come to you. You might not feel the help immediately, but my child, it is closer than you think. Remember the words spoken to Daniel, who prayed without ceasing for 21 days. The angel came and said, "Since the first day that you set your mind to gain understanding and to humble yourself before your God, your words were heard, and I have come in response to them. But the prince of the Persian kingdom resisted me." Daniel 10:12-13. Likewise, unseen battles are being fought over your prayers, and my angels are warring, clearing the path, and pushing back darkness just to ensure that my word reaches you. Do not be alarmed if you begin to sense unusual things in your home during these days. Do not be surprised if your heart is suddenly flooded with peace without explanation. I am moving, and when I move, I do not only shift what is external, but I stir the deepest layers within your soul. At times, you may not understand right away, but in time, as you look back, you will see a thread of small events intricately woven together into one great miracle. My precious one, keep your heart open. Listen for the gentlest of sounds, for my angels do not arrive with loud noises, but with quiet vibrations like the wind brushing softly through the trees, like the echo of a vision in a dream. They will whisper to your soul about things long forgotten. They will remind you of your identity in me. They will guide you, step by step, into the very place I have destined for you. My child, I intervene not to demand anything from you, but because I love you. And this intervention will not merely change you in a fleeting moment, but will carve a new path for your entire life. My dear child, let your heart be still in this moment, for I am about to reveal to you something that does not come from your own strength, but from the eternal plan I have already set in motion. Nothing in your life is random. Not a single moment have I let you walk alone, and no waiting has ever been in vain. The angels I send do not arrive at random times. They come according to a moment already written in the book of life. That moment is now, and for that reason, you are standing on the threshold between the old and the new, between the past and your destiny, between waiting and fulfillment. Everything you have been through, the losses, the wounds, the disappointments that once seemed insurmountable, has been part of a refining journey. They did not come to break you, but to prepare you. My child, there are miracles that cannot arrive in their fullness until your heart is deep enough, until your faith is strong enough, until your spirit is tender enough to receive them. That is why I allowed you to walk through the fire, not to burn you, but to refine you, as gold is refined in the furnace. And now, as I look upon you, I see a soul burning with readiness I have patiently cultivated over time. I do not measure your readiness by the number of years you have followed me, nor by the things you have done in my name. I measure it by the depth of your surrender, by a faith that continues to shine even when you see nothing at all. I see the prayers you whispered in silence, the moments you chose to resist bitterness, though you had every reason to be angry. I see the times you sat alone, yet chose not to give up hope. These moments, though unseen by others, have become markers within your heart, proving that you are ready for something greater. The time has come tomorrow, not when you are more perfect, but in this very moment. There is a reason your soul feels stirred, why old dreams are awakening, why your heart suddenly yearns for the sacred more than ever before. It is because my spirit is awakening you. This is the season of fulfillment, the hour of unveiling. I do not speak this lightly, for I am the Lord your God who keeps his word. If I have promised, I will fulfill. And I have promised to draw near to those who seek me, to bless those whose hearts remain upright, and to reveal my glory to those who do not grow weary in waiting. You may think that too much time has passed. You may wonder why I didn't act sooner. But my beloved, my delay was never abandonment, it was preparation. Had I moved before you were ready, the blessing might have become a burden. Had I opened the door before you had the strength to walk through it, the very goodness meant for you could have overwhelmed you. But now, when I look into your heart and see an unshakable faith, a spirit that has learned humility, I know that your season has arrived. You may not see everything I am doing. You may only feel it in glimpses. But I assure you, my hand is at work, aligning the pieces your eyes have yet to perceive. Divine appointments are being arranged. Doors will open suddenly. The angels I have sent are not coming merely to encourage, but to guide you into the exact moment I have ordained. My child, be careful with your time. Do not let this sacred moment slip away because of busyness, distractions, or the lurking doubts in your mind. The enemy knows well when I am about to move. He will try to divert your focus, to draw your attention to lesser things so that you miss the greater purpose. That is why I call you to holiness. Keep your eyes fixed on me, to keep your spirit awake. So then, do you need to do something to bring about this moment? Know this, it has already been appointed by me. All you must do is step into it with expectation. Faith is not just believing that I can, it is knowing with certainty that I will, and that I am already doing it, even if your eyes cannot yet see. Prepare your room as if a guest of honor is arriving. Prepare your mind as if an invitation has already been sent. And prepare your heart as if you are about to enter the holy place of my very presence. My beloved, there is a moment when heaven and earth meet. That moment does not come to all, but only to those who do not refuse the call. You are standing in that moment now, and I, the living God, am standing at the threshold of your heart, ready to step in and fulfill the wonder I have planned for you since before the foundation of time. When your heart is ready, when it is no longer closed off to the gentle yet powerful movements of the divine, that is when I begin to fill the space around you with my presence. You may not see it with your physical eyes, nor hear it with your natural ears, but your spirit will recognize it. The house you live in, once seemingly ordinary, is suddenly transformed into holy ground, not because of its architecture, But because my presence now abides there, the angels I have sent are no longer distant. They are in the air, in the light, in the unexpected stillness that causes your heart to pause and listen. Every step you take through your home now echoes with a different tone. You may not be able to name what has changed, but you will know something sacred is unfolding. I have commanded my angels to guard the thresholds, to touch the very walls, to saturate the air with my glory, and to open a gateway between heaven and earth so that my majesty may be poured out. In the night, while you sleep, they stand by your bed like holy sentinels, driving away the darkness and guarding your dreams. When you pray, even if only a faint whisper of a sigh, my angels receive it as incense rising before my throne. My beloved child, I have chosen your home to be a resting place for my presence because it meets human standards of beauty, but because I have found within it an open heart. Remember this: wherever there is a soul who longs for me, that place becomes a dwelling for my power. Do not think that I reside only on mountaintops or in majestic temples. I come to where I am desired. And today, I see within you a yearning that has been kindled over the years, a small but enduring flame, unquenched by the winds of sorrow or despair. When you walk into your living room, which once was merely a place to rest, you may now feel something sacred in the air. When you touch the chair or open the window, the light that enters is no longer just the sunit, becomes part of a divine invitation. The angels I have sent are not there merely to observe, they are there to act. They lay their holy hands upon every object within your home, consecrating each one so that every corner may become a place where I can dwell and reveal myself. You may suddenly find yourself wanting to play a worship song, or sitting in silence with tears falling for no apparent reason. Know that these are not random emotions. They are the overflow of my spirit. You may feel something like a soft mist around you, light, as vapor enveloping your being. That is the gentle, yet powerful manifestation of my presence. Just as it once descended upon Mount Sinai, just as it once filled the ancient tabernacle, I want you to remember, my presence is not meant to make you afraid, but to give you strength. I do not come with thunder or flashing lightning to overpower you, but with the still, small voice that penetrates to the deepest part of your soul. Just as Elijah stood in the cleft of the rock and did not hear me in the earthquake or the fire, but in a gentle whisper, so too do I come to you now. I come to say, I am here. You no longer need to strive. And this, you will begin to notice a change in how the members of your household behave. Small irritations seem to fade away. The heavy atmosphere that once lingered is suddenly lifted. This is because my angels are pushing back the influences of darkness, breathing into your space a new kind of life, a holy atmosphere filled with praise and peace. The chaos that once overwhelmed begins to give way to order. Invisible resistance begins to soften. None of this comes from your own cleverness, but from my quiet yet mighty power at work within your home. At times, you will feel an urge to pause in the middle of your task, pray, to write something down, to sing, even if there's no melody. Do not ignore it. That is my invitation. In that moment, the angels are opening a gate through which I may speak to you. If you respond, you will feel my flow like a stream of cool water in a dry desert. But if you dismiss it, you may miss the miracle I had prepared for that moment. Though you are still deeply loved, my beloved child, my presence in your home is not merely to comfort you, but to transform you. You will begin to see truths in Scripture that you once overlooked now become illuminated. Dreams you thought had vanished will begin to stir once more. I have not come only to soothe, but to awaken to prepare you for a mission I have inscribed deep within your soul. Your home is becoming a sacred training ground where I will shape your faith, your steadfastness, and your wisdom, so that you may become a useful vessel in my hands. Know this, what you are experiencing is not a fleeting emotion, but the beginning of a new season. When I send my angels into your house, I mark that place as holy ground. The conversations that take place in your kitchen will carry the fragrance of grace. The prayers whispered in your private room will become sacred covenants. Every step you take in the hallway will echo with reminders that I am near. Welcome this presence with all your heart. Walk through your home as though you are walking within a temple. Whisper words of love to me as if you were kneeling before my throne. Because in truth I am there. My angels are there. And something great is beginning right where you call home. Child. When my presence fills your house, the next thing your soul will begin to experience is the emergence of the supernatural things that transcend human understanding, yet come with the subtle fragrance of heaven. I do not display my power in overwhelming ways, but rather through gentle movements that only hearts attentive to me can perceive. This is when you must learn to walk by faith, not by feeling, not by human logic. For what you are about to encounter does not come from imagination, but from eternity itself. You may suddenly feel a warm breeze in the middle of a cool day. You may catch a flash of light at the edge of your vision that doesn't come from any source you can see. You may detect a sweet fragrance in the air, though no flowers are in bloom. Do not dismiss these moments. Do not assume they are coincidences. These are manifestations through which my angels are confirming their presence to you, assuring you that I am moving and that the space you inhabit has become a meeting point between heaven and earth. And then you will begin to hear not with physical ears, but with the ears of your spirit. There will be moments when you hear a whisper of encouragement in the middle of discouragement, a gentle call pulling you back just as you are about to speak words you shouldn't, or a tender reminder of a dream you once abandoned. These voices do not arise from your mind, nor do they come from those around you. They are messages wrapped in wind, carried by my spirit, and delivered through the invisible tongues of angels who stand guard over your life. Do not be anxious if you cannot hear the entire sentence or message. There will be moments when I speak to you with just a single wordly one, but within that one word dwells an entire universe of life. A word like stand firm, believe, or I am here is never empty. It carries the weight of divine authority. These are not merely comforting phrases, they are living commands, full of power and intent. And when you receive that word and respond in agreement with me, something greater than you can see begins to unfold. For all of heaven answers your echo like a mighty symphony stirred into motion by a single note of faith. There will be times when what is supernatural does not arrive through a sound or a visible sign, but instead through an inward shift, so subtle and sudden, it defies explanation. One moment, you may be drowning in anxiety, and the next, peace settles upon your heart like still waters. You may be standing in the fog of confusion, and then, without warning, certainty takes root inside you. You may feel overwhelmed by sorrow, yet suddenly sense that someone unseen but very realis cradling your soul in quiet embrace. Do not let your reasoning mind try to unravel these moments as if they were puzzles to be solved. Instead, Allow your spirit to recognize the truth. I am present. I am the one comforting you, healing what no one sees, and gently pouring sacred oil over the wounds you have never spoken aloud. My beloved, in this season, every move I make is intentional, and every sign, no matter how small, is infused with purpose. Nothing in the supernatural realm is random. When a bird suddenly lands on your windowsill, when a white feather floats silently onto your path, or when an unusual light glimmers in the corner of your room, you understand that these are not coincidences, they are messages, subtle yet sacred. The angels I have appointed to walk with you do not act without direction. They follow my orders and my perfect timing. And if they allow you to see or feel something, you can be sure that it carries meaning. Whether it is a confirmation, a promise, or a whisper from my heart to yours, that is why I urge you, child, to begin the simple but holy practice of writing down what you perceive. You may not understand its full meaning in the moment, but if you honestly record your emotions, the images that rise within you, the gentle impressions that come uninvited yet undeniable, you will, in time, begin to see a bigger picture emerge. I will use what once seemed insignificant to unveil truths that will change you. Sometimes a single whisper will be the key that opens a door long sealed in the deepest parts of your soul. Other times, a fleeting feeling, a sensation too quick for words will serve as my confirmation that you are exactly where you are meant to be, on the right path, at the right time, in alignment with the mission I have entrusted to you. Understand this: when you hear these sacred whispers, you must not delay in your obedience. Sometimes what I whisper will be an invitation to forgive someone you've struggled to release. Other times it may be a nudge to intercede in prayer for someone walking through suffering. It could be a call to let go of something you have been gripping far too tightly. Whatever it may be, know that the supernatural is never meant to entertain or impress. It is always meant to lead you deeper into surrender. And when you respond in obedience, when you take a single step in the direction I'm guiding, my angels will move with even greater force. Hidden layers of my message will begin to unfold, and you will find yourself entering a new season, where every day becomes a dialogue, an ongoing exchange between your heart and mine. Yet even if the signs are not visible every day, do not let your heart grow troubled. My angels do not need to reveal themselves constantly for you to know they are at work. I do not need to perform grand displays to prove that I am present. In fact, it is often in the quiet, in the stillness that seems empty, where my greatest works are being accomplished. Remember what the Lord Jesus said to Job: I know that you can do all things. No purpose of yours can be thwarted. Job 42:2. My purpose in this hour is not to overwhelm you with wonder, but to gently train your heart to hear me in your ordinary life, in your daily rhythms, in the quiet nudges, in the divine encouragements that come not from the world, but from heaven itself. My beloved child, this is the season in which I draw near. I do not come in the form of a storm, but in quiet gentleness. I do not approach to make you tremble, but to cause your heart to melt in the warmth of my unchanging love. The soft whispers you hear are proof that I am not a distant or abstract God. I am your Father, the one who loves you so much that I would send an angel to stand beside you just to say one thing: I have never left you. I never act without purpose. Every intervention from heaven, every visitation from my angels, every movement in the spiritual realm is part of my wise and deliberate design for your life. That is why the divine visitation you are experiencing right now is not merely a passing comfort, but a deep and intentional act of restoration, instruction, and affirmation meant to prepare and establish you in the mission I have appointed for you since the beginning. First, I have come to restore. You have walked a long road, marked with wounds and nameless detours. I know that there are parts of your heart that have been damaged for a long time, trust that has been shaken, dreams that seem to have died, and areas of your soul worn thin by waiting and unanswered hope. I see clearly the places where your heart has grown hardened, not because you stopped loving me, but because you have been holding on for so long and have been disappointed so many times. That is why, in this very moment, I have sent my angels not to scold you, but to tend to the places that are broken. They come with a gentleness that only my spirit can bring, to carefully place the shattered pieces back into alignment, to wipe away the tears that no one else has seen, and to soothe the wounds you've never had the courage to speak aloud. Do not be surprised if you begin to feel life returning to places you thought were long dead. Do not be confused if fresh dreams begin to rise again in your heart, or if you feel a sudden longing to return to something you once laid down. I am renewing your soul with the waters of my life. Then, I have come to instruct you. You were not called to merely survive from day to day, but to walk in heavenly wisdom, to become a bearer of light in the midst of darkness, and to fulfill a purpose far greater than yourself. But before I can entrust you with more, I must teach you how to hear, how to see, how to discern, and how to obey. The angels I have sent will not simply perform outward miracles, they will also guide you into inner revelation. They are sent to help you recognize the voice of my spirit, even in the midst of the noise and chaos of this world. This process of learning will not always be easy. Sometimes it will come through silence that stretches your patience. Other times, it will come through gentle correction that asks you to receive it with humility. But my child, do not resist the process. Every time you yield to me, I will open a new dimension of wisdom to you. Every time you listen, I will fill you with understanding from above. And as you walk in the instruction I give, you will not only live rightly, you will live effectively, fruitfully, and in full alignment with the mission I have written into your destiny. Lastly, I have come to affirm you. There are promises I spoke over your life long ago. But because the waiting has been long and the trials unrelenting, doubt has crept into your heart. You have wondered, did I really hear God correctly? Was that promise truly meant for me? Or was it just a passing feeling? My child, I know every one of those thoughts. I do not rebuke you for feeling weary, but today, I want you to know this without question. I am the one who placed that dream in your heart. I am the one who called you, who chose you, and who gave you gifts that can never be revoked. My angels have been sent to testify to what I have spoken, to affirm every promise I have made, and to destroy the lies the enemy has sown into your heart. The calling you feel was never a figment of your imagination. It is real. And now that the appointed time has come, I am sending my angels to awaken what has long been dormant within you, to breathe life into the seeds I once planted in your spirit, and to firmly establish you in the position I have destined for you to stand. You may believe that you are not strong enough, not holy enough, or not wise enough to carry the weight of what I have called you into. But my child, the condition for being chosen is not perfection, it is willingness. I delight in using the weak to confound the strong, and I choose the humble to showcase my greatest glory. So if you feel inadequate or unworthy, that is precisely the space where I can enter in and complete what you cannot accomplish on your own. Your insufficiency does not disqualify. It creates the room for my sufficiency to be revealed. The confirmation I give you will not remain only in your thoughts or imagination. It will manifest through open doors, through strangers who speak words of encouragement at exactly the right moment, and through situations that appear coincidental, but are so precise in timing and meaning that you will have no doubt it is I who am speaking. These signs will be undeniable, and once they are given, no one will be able to take them away from you, my beloved child. When the light of heaven has touched your home, and my angels have completed their mission of restoration and affirmation, the desire of my heart is to draw you into a deeper, more intimate relationship with me. My ultimate purpose is not that you would simply witness a passing miracle or feel fleeting emotion. I long for you to step into an unshakable bond relationship that cannot be shaken. A covenant of love between the Creator and the soul created to know and love Him. I do not seek a heart that only turns to me in times of desperation, nor do I desire to be held at a distance, where prayers are spoken out of obligation. My word is read from routine, and worship is offered as a mere ritual. The relationship I long for is one of love, of desire, of deep knowing where you draw near because you delight in me, because you yearn for me, because you recognize that nothing on this earth can take the place of closeness with me. I have heard every prayer you've whispered, and I have seen every quiet effort you've made to seek me in the hidden places. Though you are not perfect, and though you may at times feel far from me, I have never withdrawn from you. In truth, it is I who placed that deep longing in your heart, a hunger that cannot be quenched by anything less than my presence. You did not find me. First, it was I who awakened that desire in you so that you would never settle for anything less than me. And today, I come to tell you, the time has come for you to go deeper, to rise higher, and to draw nearer than ever before. Never believe that intimacy with me is out of reach. It is not a privilege reserved for a chosen few, but an invitation extended to anyone who is willing to let go of control, to open their heart, and to trust. You do not need to have all the answers to come close to me, nor must you fix every flaw before entering the sacred place of communion. On the contrary, it is in your lack and in your weakness that I will come and fulfill what you cannot. The relationship I seek is not based on performance, but on honesty, not on fear, but on trust. I do not ask for perfection. I ask for your heart. I know that you have been wounded. Perhaps you once cried out for something and did not receive the answer you expected. Perhaps you have felt disappointed, believing that I was silent. But my precious child, every sense of distance you felt was never because I turned away from you. Rather, it was a divine invitation to seek me more deeply, not with your eyes or ears, but with your heart. As it is written, you will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. Jeremiah 29:13. I am not hiding from you. I am drawing you past the fog of doubt, past the weight of fatigue, and into the very depths of my heart where clarity, comfort, and communion await. Do you know, my beloved, how deeply I long to converse with you every single day, not just through scripted prayers, but through every sigh of your heart, every unspoken feeling, every fleeting thought that crosses your mind. I desire that you learn to invite me into the smallest details of your life, when you wake up in the morning, when you prepare your meals, when you work, when you're weary, and even when you don't know what to pray. For I am not a God who only shows up on holidays or within the walls of a church. I am the God of every moment. I am the God of nearness. A deep relationship is not sustained by fleeting moments of emotion, but by the consistency of conversation, the quiet acts of listening, and the silent presence that you learn to treasure. I do not come to impose. I come as a true friend, as a loving father, as the one who loves you more than you can possibly comprehend. And when you respond not out of a desire to get something from me, but simply because you want to be with me, that is the moment when the deepest transformation begins in your spirit. You will begin to realize that in my presence, every burden becomes lighter, not because your circumstances change instantly, but because you are drawn into a current of life that does not originate from this world. You will discover what true rest means, not merely rest for the body, but rest for the soul, where nothing can shake you. And that is the foundation for every miracle, not that I change everything around you, but that I transform you from within, so that you may stand firm in any situation without losing faith. Come, my child, enter the holy place with me. You don't need elaborate rituals, just a sincere heart. Find a quiet spot, a moment in your day, and simply say, Lord, I am here. I want to know you more. I will respond. I will draw near. I will speak to you in a way that only you can understand. Day by day, this relationship will deepen, becoming stronger and unshakable, like a tree planted by streams of water, with roots that go deep, leaves that do not wither, and fruit that comes in due season. My child, I have not called you just to be a receiver. I have called you to be my friend. My child, a bearer of my presence wherever you go. And that can only happen when you allow my love to transform you from the inside out. There is no greater miracle than a heart that loves me for who I am, not for what I give. Come closer, so that I may become your refuge, your source of life, your companion every day. This relationship is the greatest gift I offer you. Nothing is more precious than intimacy with me, and my arms are open wide to welcome you into the secret place of eternal love. My beloved child, when you respond to the invitation to walk in intimate relationship with me, a divine process begins within your heart, a journey that goes beyond fleeting emotions and leads to true transformation. For I do not simply want you to know about me. I want you to be transformed by my very presence. Your response is the doorway, but transformation is the path we walk together, breath by breath, day by day, in every quiet decision. Do not think that transformation must come through grand experiences or dramatic encounters. I work gently within the heart, like soft rain seeping into parched soil. One day, you will wake up and notice that you no longer respond in anger as you once did. In another moment, you'll find it easier to forgive something you once believed was unforgivable. An old situation will return, but this time you will choose to love instead of reacting by instinct. These are the signs that my spirit is dwelling in you, working to renew all things from the inside out. Know this, my child, I have not come to make you someone else, but to restore you to the beautiful original design I created from the very beginning. You are a masterpiece in my hands, wonderfully made. But the currents of life wounds, failure, and disappointments have covered that beauty with layers of dust. Now, as you walk with me, those layers will begin to fall away. Bitterness will be replaced with the sweetness of forgiveness. Fear will give way to faith, and insecurity will dissolve in the light of my unconditional love. The closer you draw near to me, the more you will reflect who I am not in outward form, but in the mercy, patience, and wisdom that begin to shape your heart. To walk with me is also to learn the beauty of obedience, not out of coercion, but because of love. I will not always lead you down wide or easy paths. At times, I will guide you into quiet places where there is no applause and no spotlight, only stillness, where I refine your heart in secret. In those moments, you will come to understand that surrender is not about losing, but about opening the way to lasting blessing. When you release what you want in order to hold on to what I desire for you, that is the very moment you step into the land where true miracles take place. This journey with me does not require you to know every step ahead. It only asks that you trust me enough to move when I speak, even if the road ahead is still unclear. Like Abraham, who went forth not knowing where he was going, simply because he believed I was faithful. Or like Moses, who entered Pharaoh's court not with a sword, but with obedience, so too will I lead you not with the need for every answer, but with the assurance that holding my hand is enough. The miracle is not in knowing the map, it is in knowing the one who walks with you. You will encounter trials, for true transformation never occurs in places of comfort. There will be times when you doubt yourself, when you wonder if you are truly hearing my voice. But in those very moments, do not shrink back, and do not return to the path you once knew. The inner struggle is a sign that the battle between the old and the new is taking place. If you will trust me and keep walking, the old will eventually give way to the new, and new life will flow through you like an unstoppable river. Along this path, I also long for you to pause and listen. Don't let the rush of the world drown out the rhythm of my presence. I am not hurried. I move slowly, deeply, and with purpose. There will be days when I say little, yet my presence will still be healing you. There will be moments of silence, not because I am far, but because I am planting new promises within you. Do not fear the silence. It is sacred ground where I sow seeds of eternal life. Beloved, this transformation will not make you lose yourself. It will make you become more truly who you are than ever before. As you begin to walk in the fullness of what I destined for you, your heart will no longer be restless. You will stop comparing yourself to others, because you will know your place in me. You will no longer chase the applause of the world, because you will have heard my voice saying, "You are my beloved. In you I am well pleased." My child, I am forming you into someone who reflects my glory, not so others may admire you, but so they may see me through your life. When you love those who are difficult to love, when you forgive what once felt unforgivable, when you remain faithful in the small and unseen things, then the world will know you belong to a kingdom not of this earth. And one day, when you look back on this journey, you will realize that the greatest miracle I performed was not first in changing your circumstances, but in changing you so that you might transform the world around you. You will have become the answer to someone else's prayer, the light in someone's night, the carrier of hope in a place of despair, the messenger of peace in the middle of a storm. My child, when you walk in communion with me, when Each of your days becomes an unceasing conversation with my spirit. That is the moment you begin to step into the deepest reason why I created you. To reflect my glory in a world engulfed in darkness. You were not born to drift through life like a leaf on a stream. You were chosen, set apart, and predestined for an eternal purpose, a mission no one else can fulfill. For it was written specifically for your soul. I did not form you as a copy of anyone else. You carry a part of me that no one else possesses. I intricately wove you together in your mother's womb. I ordained the moment of your birth, the environment in which you were raised, and even the trials you have endured. Nothing was random. Even the pain that once seemed meaningless was part of the preparation. For to reflect light in the midst of darkness, you must first understand what darkness is. And now that I have healed, restored, and upheld you, I say, rise, my light, for you were born for such a time as this. Ibri, do not forget the word I spoke through Isaiah. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. Isaiah 61:1. This is not poetic embellishment, it is a divine command. For now the world needs a light that does not come from knowledge, nor from eloquent words, but from hearts that have been transformed by true love. And that light is you, my child. Not because you are flawless, but because you have drawn so close to me that my light has soaked into the very marrow of your soul. My child, living for an eternal purpose does not mean abandoning everything and going far away. It begins right where you are within your family, in your workplace, and in every relationship. I do not seek grand gestures. I seek faithfulness in the small things, a word of forgiveness when anger is justified, a merciful glance instead of contempt, a decision to remain pure while others drift away. These are the things that shake the spiritual realm. These are the moments that cause angels to rejoice and make the kingdom of darkness tremble. Know this, you were created to carry my glory into the places where others have given up. When you step into barren ground, your very presence will bring rivers of life. When you open your mouth to pray, the atmosphere will shift. When you walk in forgiveness, spiritual barriers will collapse. I have placed within you the power to release, to heal, and to build up, and that power does not come from your own strength, but from my presence within you. I also want you to understand that living out your eternal purpose is not always easy. It requires daily death to self. It calls for faithfulness even when no one is watching. It demands that you believe even when the results are not yet visible. But, my beloved, the reward of that faithfulness is the ever-increasing manifestation of my presence in your life. And there is no greater glory than knowing that your soul is aligned with the eternal will of the one who formed you. You may have once believed you were too small to make a difference. But look at Joseph, sold into slavery, unjustly imprisoned, yet because of his faithfulness, he became the instrument that saved an entire nation. Look at Esther, an orphan girl, yet through her obedience, she delivered her people from destruction. And in the same way, you may think you are insignificant, but I declare you are a vital part of my plan for this generation. How? When you live for an eternal purpose, you will no longer be easily shaken by criticism, delays, or rejection, for you understand that your life is not meant to please people, but to bring delight to me. And when your heart stands firm in me, nothing can hinder you. No door can remain closed once I have opened it. No circumstance can limit someone who has been sent forth by my Spirit. My beloved child, I am establishing you as a lamp set on a stand not to be hidden, but to give light to everyone in the house. Do not fear your own light. Do not diminish your worth just because others fail to see it. I see it. Affirmation. And I will raise you up at the appointed time. In that moment, the light you shine will not be to glorify yourself, but so that others may see me through you and glorify my name. Living for an eternal purpose means choosing daily to say yes to me, even when there is no applause, even when there are no signs pointing the way. Every time you choose love over hatred, life over bitterness, hope over despair, you are walking in the very purpose for which I created you, and your soul will experience a joy that this world cannot give, nor can it take away. Do not measure your life by the standards of the world. I do not gauge success by fame or possessions. I measure it by obedience, by a heart fully surrendered, by the light you radiate even when no one is watching. Keep walking forward, for the light you carry will become a guiding path for many. And on the final day, when you stand before my throne, you will hear these words, "Well done, good and faithful servant." When you begin to live for an eternal purpose and walk in the light, you also begin to enter a different reality, one that cannot be seen with the natural eye, the invisible battle taking place behind the veil. This war is not only about you, it targets your faith, the promises I've spoken over you, and the destiny I've planted in your heart. Do not be surprised when unexpected things begin to unfold, when past struggles resurface, or when whispers of doubt creep into your mind. My child, these are not coincidences. They are evidence that you are stepping into the very center of a holy war. The spiritual realm is not as abstract as many believe. It is more real than anything your hands can touch. Every time you pray, you are not merely speaking into the air, you are releasing arrows of light that pierce the darkness. Every time you praise me in the midst of suffering, heaven is shaken, and angels move in response to my command. And because of this, the enemy cannot sit still. He trembles at your voice when you know who you are in me. He fears your footsteps when you walk in the understanding and authority I have given you. Do you remember what happened with Daniel when he prayed? An angel was dispatched on the very first day, but it took 21 days of battle in the heavens to break through the power of the prince of Persia. See Daniel 10:12-13. In the same way, your prayers do not vanish into nothingness. They are heard, remembered, and fiercely fought for until they are fulfilled. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. But there are clashes taking place between my angels and the forces of darkness, because the blessing I am about to release over you is too precious to go uncontested. My child, it is for this very reason that I am calling you to awaken in your spirit. Do not slumber while the battle rages on. Do not let your soul grow weary to the point of surrendering to lies disguised as exhaustion, distraction, or discouragement. This is the moment you must know that you are not fighting by your own strength. I have equipped you with every spiritual weapon necessary to win this war. When you put on the breastplate of righteousness, the shoes of readiness to proclaim the gospel of peace, the shield of faith, the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, Ephesians 6:10-17. No scheme of the enemy can bring you down. You cannot see all that my angels are doing on your behalf. But if I were to open your eyes as I once did for Elisha's servant, You would see the mountain full of horses and chariots of fire surrounding you. 2 Kings 6:16-17. I have not left you alone in the midst of battle. Every night as you sleep, my angels stand guard around your bed. Each time you cry out to me in pain, a heavenly host is dispatched solely to comfort and sustain you. And when you feel unable to pray, my spirit intercedes for you with groanings too deep for words. But I also want you to understand that not all battles come from the outside. Some begin within. These are the battles between faith and doubt, between the light and the lingering shadows in your soul. The enemy will try to plant seeds of inferiority, worthlessness, and abandonment. He will use your past to accuse you, whispering that you are not good enough, that you cannot be used by me. But remember, he is the father of lies, John 8:44. And every word he speaks is meant to rob you of the identity I have given you. So stand firm. When you feel weary, do not try to appear strong. Come to me. When your mind is in turmoil, do not seek explanations. Seek my presence. When you do not know what to do, simply whisper, Father, fight for me. I am not only the one who teaches you how to battle, but also the one who fights on your behalf. There are battles that only I can win, and I am winning them, even when you do not yet see it. Do not measure spiritual victory by emotion. There will be days when you feel like a failure, but in truth, those may be the very days you are standing the strongest because you have not given up. There will be days when you do not hear my voice, but in reality, I am covering you with the deepest form of protection. You do not need to feel me to know I am there. You only need to believe, and that belief, even as small as a mustard seed, is enough to move mountains. The unseen war behind the veil is not meant to frighten you, but to remind you that the glory to come is far too great to go unopposed. Every resistance is proof that what I am about to give you is no small thing. Rejoice, my child, when the battle intensifies, for it is a sign that you are drawing near to the finish line. And when you overcome, not only will you walk in freedom, but many others will be delivered through the light you carry. My beloved, while the spiritual battle unfolds quietly behind the scenes, I have not left you or your loved ones exposed to the unseen arrows of warfare. I have issued commands from heaven, dispatching angels to guard every entry and exit, establishing a divine barrier that human eyes cannot see, but whose power surpasses all understanding. You are not only protected in your spirit, your very household is enveloped under the sacred covering of the heavenly hosts I have sent. You may not always realize it. You may see your home as ordinary, just like any other familiar rooms. Everyday meals, hurried footsteps coming and going. But my child, in the spiritual realm, your home is a fortress and outpost where angels have been assigned to stand guard without ceasing. Each wall does more than block the wind. It stands as a barrier against the encroaching darkness. Each door does more than keep out thieves. It shields against unseen forces that lurk just beyond the threshold. I have stationed angels in places you do not notice. On the rooftop where your eyes never look. In your children's rooms while they sleep peacefully. In the hallway you pass through each morning. Sometimes, when you feel a sudden wave of peace wash over you amidst the chaos, it is a sign that I have sent my messengers, and they are raising a canopy of invisible protection over every member of your household. Remember what I declared in Psalm 91:11-12. For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. They will lift you up in their hands so that you will not strike your foot against a stone. This is not just poetic imagery. It is a concrete reality. Actively at work within your home, angels are not floating aimlessly. They move with purpose. They defend. They intercept the subtle schemes that try to seep into the very air you breathe, into dreams you can't recall, into the invisible words that cling to your children as they go to school each day. You may ask yourself, why are my children safe when their friends are experiencing turmoil? Why is my family preserved when the storms of life pass through? The answer lies in what you cannot see. A ring of angels serving day and night under my command. They do not slumber. They do not grow lax. They are moved by your faith, by the small prayer you whispered in the stillness of night, by the tearful plea you once cried, Lord, please protect my family. And I answered, my covering is not only defensive, it is also offensive. My angels are not merely standing guard at the walls, they are wielding swords against every force that dares approach my borders. There are attacks that never reached you because they were repelled from afar. There are curses that were broken before they could take shape. There are dark plans that were exposed in silence, simply because the hedge of light around your home forbade darkness to draw near. My child, when you pray for your family, know that your prayer becomes a decree in heaven. Every word spoken in faith becomes a torch that guides angels into motion. When you declare my promises over your children, the angels use those very declarations as weapons in their hands. When you bless your loved ones, those words do not vanish into the air. They become a covering, a banner under which my angels raise the flag of victory. Do you know this? Not everyone you love always knows how to guard themselves. There are moments when they grow weary, times when they drift from me, and sometimes they even forget that I am real. But you, my faithful one, because you continually lift them up in prayer, I have raised up a heavenly shield on account of your faith. Miracles are unfolding even now in the hearts of your children, your spouse, your parents, though they may not perceive it. I am moving in hidden ways. Because you believed me when no one else did. Because you interceded when no one else prayed. My child, there is one thing I want you to know clearly. The covering from heaven never departs when you keep your heart pure. When you praise me continually, and when you guard your home as a sacred place, do not allow negative images, chaotic sounds, or the spirit of the world to invade the space in which you live. A house is not merely a place of residence, it is the place where I dwell. Open the door to me each day with praise, with acts of love, with forgiveness, and with reverence. These are the very things that create an atmosphere where my presence desires to remain. If you've ever worried about safety, rest assured, I am your fortress. If you've ever been anxious about your family's future, remember that I am the final authority. When you say, Lord, please watch over my home, I dispatch my mightiest angels, and they never return until the assignment is fulfilled. No power in heaven or on earth can penetrate the barrier I have placed around your household. As long as you continue to trust me, walk in truth, and nurture your daily communion with me, my beloved child, never think you are fighting alone for the peace of your home. I go before you, I stand behind you, and I surround you on every side. My angels are as a wall of divine fire, as a pillar of light by night and a cloud of shade by day. When you leave your house each morning, when you send your children off to school, When you leave loved ones behind, know this: my presence remains steadfast, faithful, and unchanging. My dear one, when you trust me and embrace my covering over your home, you activate an unshakable spiritual principle, the principle of divine protection. And when that principle is in operation, every scheme, every plot of the enemy must fall, no matter how cunningly it was crafted in the shadows. I tell you this: no arrow that flies in the night, no evil that approaches in silence will ever pass the wall of light I have placed around you and those you love. You may have felt a heaviness in the atmosphere before, as if something dark was looming. You may have lain awake at night with an unexplainable unrest in your spirit. My child, these impressions were not meaningless. They were signals from my spirit, warning you of the enemy's approach. But instead of succumbing to fear, you chose to pray. Instead of panic, you lifted up my name in praise. And in that surrender, my angelic armies received their orders from the throne and went to war on your behalf. Do you know, there are events that seemed random but were actually spiritual victories? A phone call that pulled you away from danger at the last second, a delay that spared you from an accident, a dream that warned you and changed your decision at the final moment. These were not coincidences. They were the fruit of invisible battles in which my angels triumphed. And you were preserved in the shelter of my embrace. The enemy came close, but he had to retreat, for he realized that what surrounds you is not emptiness, but the living presence of your God. Know this: my protection does not arrive with fanfare. It is not loud or boastful, but it is powerful. When the enemy attempted to sow division among your loved ones, my angels intervened and severed that thought before it could take root. When the evil one tried to stir resentment in your children, one of my angels whispered a verse of scripture into their hearts, and the anger dissolved. When darkness tried to wound your mind with feelings of abandonment, an angel drew near and planted a sudden peace within you, so that the lie could not take hold. My beloved child, have you ever noticed that the things you feared for so long never actually happened? That those who once sought to harm you quietly vanished from your life? That the rumors spoken against you never truly spread? These moments are not coincidences, they are victories. They are signs that the enemy was defeated by the very covering I established over you. When he thought he had found your weakness, he lifted you higher. When he believed you would collapse, I made you stand stronger than ever. None of this was by chance. It was my triumph on your behalf. I want you to look back and recognize my faithfulness. Remember the times you prayed for your loved ones to be safe, and now they remain well. Recall the moments you cried out in the midst of suffering, and then, somehow, everything naturally began to calm. But there is no such thing as naturally when you live in my kingdom. Everything is orchestrated from heaven. Invisible arms held you when you thought you were falling. Walls of light rose around your mind when you faced confusion, anxiety, or depression. My child, I did not merely listen to your prayers, I moved on your behalf. Every small victory in your life is the evidence of a battle already won in the heavens. The enemy never retreats unless he is forced. He never gives up unless he has been defeated. And if you find yourself still standing, still at peace, still pressing forward, that is the proof that my angels have prevailed in the battle. Rejoice, for that victory wasn't just for yesterday. It will carry you into tomorrow and beyond. I do not promise that the enemy will stop trying to approach you, but I do promise that he will never be able to cross the barrier I have placed when you remain under my covering. as long as you keep your heart pure, my word on your lips, your faith alive within, and do not allow bitterness or fear to take root, the angelic hedge around you will remain unshaken. In fact, I will strengthen that shield as you increase your trust in me, and that very trust is what makes you unreachable to the enemy. Despite his desire to touch your life, my beloved, never underestimate the power of spiritual protection. When you praise me in the midst of sorrow, that is a victory. When you keep your heart upright during trials, that is a sign that my covering is active. When you choose forgiveness over vengeance, the light of my presence within you blinds the enemy and forces him to retreat. And when you walk in love, darkness cannot dwell near you. Every act you perform in faith is like a declaration to the angels. I am partnering with heaven's plan. I believe I will continue to send my angels not only to protect, but to lead you. There are more victories ahead, waiting for you. There are spiritual territories I desire for you to enter. And when you truly know you are protected, you will walk forward in fearless freedom. The enemy may still watch from afar, but he will not be able to touch you. He will scheme, but every plan will shatter upon contact with the ring of light I have established around your life. So, my child, when you look around and see peace, do not assume it is because your circumstances are quiet. It is because I have acted. It is because my protection has been fulfilled. And the spiritual war has already been decided by my power. Offer thanksgiving. For my glory is not only revealed in miracles, but also in the enduring safety I provide when the enemy retreats. It means you are drawing closer to the greater things I have prepared for you. My child, now that you have passed through the spiritual layers of awakening, protection, and victory, I am preparing to unveil to you a truth that has been kept hidden since the beginning of time, secret not entrusted to the masses, but revealed only to those who seek me with an undivided heart. This is not a revelation born of human intellect, nor is it the product of fleeting emotions. It is a truth etched deep within my heart, concealed in light, and only revealed to those willing to live not for what is temporary, but for what is eternal. From the moment you were in your mother's womb, I saw you. Before anyone ever called your name, I had already spoken it within my heart. You are part of an eternal planet, an afterthought, not a random outcome. You are the one chosen to receive a profound truth, a truth that only a soul refined by the fire of trials can bear. I did not hasten to reveal this, for I know some truths require a steadfast heart and an unshakable spirit. The truth I am about to speak is not mere information, it is transformation. Once you receive this into your soul, you will never see the world the same again. It will reshape how you live, how you see yourself, and how you walk with me every day. My child, the truth is this: I have never been far from you, not for a single moment. I do not appear in cycles, nor do I come and go like the wind. Even before you knew me, before you even knew love or fear, I was already there, hidden in every detail, in every breath, in every circumstance you once called coincidence. Every gentle ray of morning light, every cool breeze, every moment you survived amidst brokenness, that was me. I do not wait for your prayers to begin working. I am always at work, because you are always in my heart. There were times when you thought I was present only in your peace, in the miracles, in the clearly answered prayers. But, my dear one, the truth is far greater. I am the God of the silence as well. I am present in the days you cry and no one sees, in the moments you want to give up but still choose to go on. I hide myself not to distance you, but to teach you to trust me without seeing. I hide myself as a father hides a gift in his sleeve, waiting for his child to draw near, not with demands, but with love. The truth I want you to remember forever is this: you are not a wandering object drifting through life. You are a vessel that carries my light, a dwelling place of the divine presence. I have chosen you as a jar of oil to be filled, to shine, and to be poured out for others. Every day you live is not a repeat of the last, but a step closer to the fulfillment of the eternal plan I have written just for you. That script has not been erased. Even if you've strayed, grown weary, or made mistakes, there is a part of this truth that you may have never heard anyone say. My presence does not depend on your emotions. Even when you feel dry, when you think I am silent, when your prayers seem to vanish into the void, that is often when I am nearest to you. For in the silence, I am shaping your heart to receive a deeper level of life. I am removing your dependence on feelings, so that you may come to know me by revelation. And when that happens, fear disappears, doubt fades, and you enter into an unshakable certainty that I am the Eternal One, the same yesterday, today, and forever. I know there have been times you've asked, if you are truly always there, why must I endure so many trials? But my beloved child, it is in the trials that I forge spiritual authority within your soul. No one is entrusted with keys until they've learned the weight of responsibility. I am preparing you to carry treasures far more precious than silver or gold, the power of the Holy Spirit, wisdom that surpasses human knowledge, and peace the world cannot give. And to receive these things, your soul must pass through the fire of endurance, of waiting, and of obedience. The secret I am revealing is not meant to be kept hidden, but to be lived out by you each day. I did not call you to chase after blessings, but to become a bearer of my presence. When you walk into a room, I want the presence you carry to shift the atmosphere. When you pray, I want your words to echo into the darkest places and shatter chains. When you look into the eyes of others through my eyes, they will encounter a love that does not judge, that knows no conditions, and that cannot be shaken. And here is the deepest part of this truth. My child, you are the living evidence that I still move. Your life with every wound, every fall, and every rising again is proof to the world that I do not abandon anyone. Every time you forgive when you have reason to hate, every time you believe in the midst of suffering, every time you love the unlovable, you are revealing my true nature. You do not need to explain much. Your presence, filled with my spirit, is enough to testify to this truth. God is still alive, still loving, still saving, still healing, and still calling each heart back home. My beloved child, right now, I am inviting you into something deeper still, a sacred union, not temporary, not conditional, and not breakable. This is not a new covenant I desire to make with you. It is a covenant that has existed since the beginning of time. My child, this union is unlike any relationship you have ever known. It is not like a fickle friendship, nor like affection that depends on circumstances. nor like human love that comes with terms. This is a union between the Creator and the soul made in His image. I created you not merely to live, but to live in me, to breathe with my breath, to think with my heart, and to act as a child of the light. Eternal union is not limited to reading the scriptures each day or attending worship services. These things are precious, but they are only expressions. True union happens when your heart becomes so entwined with mine that what brings me joy brings you delight, and what grieves me breaks your heart. True union is when you come to me not only for what you need, but because you love me, because you trust me, and because you know that apart from me, you cannot truly live in the fullness of who you were created to be. My child, I do not want you to worship me at set times and then return to the rhythm of the world. I long to dwell with you in every moment. I long to be invited into even the smallest decisions you make, how you speak to your loved ones, how you respond when misunderstood, even the most secret thoughts when no one is around. True union happens when there is no longer a boundary between your spiritual life and your personal life, because everything you live becomes a place of my presence. I know there are moments when you feel unworthy of such deep intimacy. You see your flaws, your quickness to fall, your tendency to forget. But my child, it is precisely for this reason that I sent my beloved Son, so that through His blood, every barrier would be torn down, every sin wiped clean, and every repentant soul could enter the most holy place without fear. You do not need to struggle to be better before coming to me. I am calling you just as you are, because it is this very union with me that will transform you. This union is an invitation to step into the secret place between me and you, a place where you don't have to prove anything, where you are fully loved, fully known without being condemned, corrected but never rejected. When your heart begins to beat in rhythm with mine, you will start to live unshaken by circumstances. The storms around you will lose their power to terrify, for you will know that you are hidden in the one who can never be moved. My child, I am reaching out my hand. I do not push, nor do I demand. I invite, for true love never forces itself. I am inviting you to go deeper, to come closer, and to walk more steadfastly in my presence. Imagine a place where you no longer need to ask, "Where is God?" because you feel me in every breath. Picture a life where you are never alone, because I am the friend who never leaves. Open your heart and step into that place where you no longer live for yourself, but live in me, through me. And for me, I have waited for this day. I have waited to see your heart open, not just to receive, but to commune. I have witnessed every step of your spiritual growth, every decision to return, every time you chose to believe instead of doubt. And today, I say to you, come closer still. There is no longer any reason to hesitate. Nothing is more precious than union with me. In this union, I will pour into your heart things no eye has seen, no ear has heard, and no mind has ever conceived. You will understand my words in a new way. You will hear my voice no longer through intermediaries. You will sense my power at work, even when no external change is yet visible. You will carry within you a peace that cannot be shaken, a joy untouched by circumstances, and a love great enough to embrace even your enemies. My beloved, do not stop at the threshold. Do not be content with seeing me from afar. Step beyond the veil. Offer your heart as a living sacrifice, and say, "Father, I want to be with you not just when I need help, but at all times. I want to live in you, and for you to live in me. When you say this, you will feel something shift deep within your soul, and that will be the beginning of a journey of eternal union, unshakable, uninterrupted, unhindered by time or space. I want you to understand one truth that has been inscribed into your very being from the beginning. You were not born by accident. You are not the result of a series of random events. You are not a soul thrown into the world to find your way on your own. You are a part of a great design, preordained by me before the foundations of the world, chosen from within eternity to fulfill a purpose that only you can bring forth. Do you remember what is written? Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. Jeremiah 1-5. That was not spoken only to Jeremiah, but also to you. When I knit you together in the secret place, I declared, you will bring light into darkness. You will speak words of life in barren places. You will reveal my nature without needing to raise your voice in argument. And every detail of your life, your origin, your circumstances, even what you call failure, has been the material I have used to shape a useful vessel, forged not for display, but for deliverance. My child, there are things within you that you have yet to discover because you have grown too familiar with your own limitations. But I declare this to you. Within you is a portion of heaven, a flame that cannot be extinguished, a calling that cannot be silenced, a sacred flow that cannot be bound. Every time you feel different, as though you do not belong to the crowd, as though you cannot blend into the noise, it is because you carry a spiritual calling that does not fit the fleeting things of this world. You were born to carry a frequency from heaven to earth, and only by living in alignment with that original design will you ever feel truly whole. There may have been times when you were underestimated, rejected, or wounded so deeply that you began to doubt your own worth. But my child, the rejection of man has never altered my choice. My plan is not derailed by your pain. On the contrary, it is precisely through those wounds that I pour out my oil so that healing may flow through you into the lives of others. I do not require your perfection to use you. I only need your willingness, and that willing heart is the doorway through which my eternal purpose will be fulfilled in your life. My child, do you know that every battle you've walked through carries meaning? There is not one struggle that has been in vain. Every ache, every heartbreak, every loss has been part of a divine refinement tone that only those destined for greatness must endure. When you cried out in silence, my angels stood beside you. When you thought you had been abandoned, I was still writing your story in invisible ink that no human eye could see. But today, I want you to know the time of writing in invisible ink is over. Now is the hour when I engrave your name upon new doors, new territories, and new front lines. No one else can replace the part you are meant to play in. My plan, though others may appear more talented, though some may run faster, I have not and will not substitute them in your place. For the plan I designed for you was tailor-made for your soul. Just as Moses could not be David, and Esther could not be Jonah, you were never meant to be a copy of anyone else. You are one of a kind, and that uniqueness is not meant for comparison, but for a role that no one else can fulfill but you. I have already prepared every resource you will need. I have kept doors waiting to open at the appointed time. I have stationed angels along the path you are about to walk. But there is one thing I will not force your response. My plan is ready. but your hand must reach out. My call is clear, but your heart must choose to answer. And today, I ask you a question simple in words, yet powerful in implication. Are you willing to step into what I have ordained for you from the beginning, my beloved child? Do not wait for perfect circumstances. Do not wait until you feel skilled enough, resourced enough, or supported enough. Look at those I have used before. Moses stuttered. Jeremiah was young. Gideon was timid. Peter was impulsive. And Paul once persecuted the faith. Yet once they said yes, I turned their weaknesses into instruments of glory. And now, I will do the same with you. For I do not choose the strong by worldly standards, but I choose the humble to confound the false wisdom of this world. So from today, my child, begin to see yourself through my eyes. Ask me, Father, what was I born for? What is my portion in your plan? And I promise you, if you seek, you will find. If you knock, the door will be opened. If you dare to forsake what is temporary in order to pursue what is eternal, I will lead you into a place where the light never fades, and the mission you carry will become a never-ending stream of life to many other souls. You were not born merely to survive, you were born to influence. You were not created to live quietly and die forgotten. You were created to compose a sacred anthem, with your very life a song without words, where every action, every decision, every sacrifice becomes a resounding echo of the glory of the one who formed you. When you begin to live in alignment with that original purpose, you will realize that there is nothing on this earth more precious than to live and die within the eternal plan of God. My beloved child, when the time I have appointed is complete, even the silence must bow, and the veil must be torn away. The hour has come, the hour when your spiritual eyes will see what until now you could only perceive by faith. My angel, the one who has guarded you through every season, every storm, every lonely night, is now returning, not merely to comfort you, but to initiate a divine shift, not to keep you standing still under protection, but to call you forward into a new land where destiny meets obedience, and where your soul will become one with the mission I prepared for you since the beginning of time. You once thought the first visitation was the pinnacle, but no, it was only the beginning. Back then, the angel came as a messenger, bearing signs and awakening. But now, the angel does not come alone. He arrives with a heavenly host, those who wield flaming swords, wear garments of glory, and carry scrolls of destiny in their hands. No longer is this a gentle warning or a quiet calling. This is the hour of action. This is the time for executing what has been ordained. And, my child, you are the central figure in this sacred hour. Listen carefully to what I say. The angel is not coming merely to bless, but to carry out heaven's decree. He will close the doors that no longer belong to you, and he will open those that the enemy has sealed shut. He will uproot hidden soul ties that you've unknowingly clung to. Those who were once permitted to walk with you, but are no longer aligned with my will be removed from your path. Delayed opportunities, once held back by forces of darkness, will now be restored. Even within your physical body, I will heal what needs to be healed. For the waiting season has come to an end. My child, when the angel arrives, you will sense a shift in the atmosphere, not fear, but holy reverence. A weight of glory will press upon your spirit, and an undeniable awareness that you are standing on sacred ground. You will no longer feel the need to speak much, nor to argue with those around you. The angel's presence will cause all other things to fade into insignificance. For in that moment, your heart will remember, you were not born to be ordinary, but to be set apart for the sacred. I want you to prepare. Cleanse your heart. Let go of what you've been hiding. Forgive those you've still held captive in their offenses. Confess to me the things you've never dared to tell anyone. For when the angel comes, nothing hidden in darkness will remain concealed. Everything must stand in the light of my presence. This is not a judgment to condemn, but a sanctification to lift you to a higher realm. For the angel cannot operate where there is pretense, doubt, or impurity. But if your heart is pure, the angel will not merely stand beside you, he will fight for you, make a way before you, and speak on your behalf in sacred assemblies you have never known. The hour has come, my child, not according to your calendar, but according to the time I have appointed in eternity. Just as there was an hour for Isaac to be born in Abraham's old age, an hour for Elijah to be taken up in a whirlwind, an hour for Jonah to be cast from the fish, to proclaim my warning to Nineveh. So now, your hour has arrived, and it cannot be delayed, for the door will open in a divinely appointed moment. And if you do not step through, it will close for a very long season. I do not say this to frighten you, I say it to awaken you. For there are moments when heaven touches earth, and only the watchful will enter in. Now, the angel is drawing near. Can you hear it? It is the sound of footsteps in the spiritual atmosphere, the trembling in your spirit, the strange dream that has returned 3 nights in a row, the unexplainable stirring deep within. These are the signals that one from the highest realm is coming to meet you, not to offer comfort, but to deliver a command. You do not need to do anything to become worthy. The blood of the Lamb has already accomplished that on your behalf. But you must open your heart. You must step out of your comfort zone. You must say, Father, I am ready, even if what you ask of me is beyond my understanding. I will still obey. That is the keynote for the angel to merely pass by, but to stop, to walk alongside you, and to open the doors of wonders. Write down what you hear. Record what you see in your dreams. Let your soul be attuned to the movements of heaven. For now, every moment carries eternal weight. The angel will speak forth what I have kept hidden for so long. This truth will not only set you free, but it will also deliver your descendants, the land you dwell in, and every work your hands touch. And when it is revealed, no one in either man nor demon will be able to stop it. My child, this is the moment when all that is old must come to an end. Meaningless cycles will be broken. Buried dreams will be resurrected, and a new identity will be sealed upon your forehead. For the angel is not coming to confirm what you already know, but to unveil what you have never imagined. The hour has come. The angel is standing at the door. Are you ready to open it, my beloved child? When the angel arrives and the hour is appointed, there will be no more room for hesitation, no more time to question your worth, or to hide from the things I have whispered to you over and over again in the silence. Now, in the light of heaven, I will declare to you the true identity you bear in the spirit realm, a name I have called you by since before the foundations of the world, a mission engraved in the records of heaven, which no force on earth can erase or steal. You are not merely the person known by the name written on earthly documents. The name I have given you was not granted by men, not defined by social systems, and not limited by anyone's recognition or rejection. Your name is written upon the living stone, etched by eternal flame, inscribed upon the palm of my hand, just as it is written, "See, I have engraved you on the palms of my hands." Isaiah 49:16. And today, I want you to hear that name again with the ears of your spirit, that you may remember it. Live by it, and never turn back to the old way of life. Your name is the one who has been called, the bearer of the living word, the bridge between heaven and earth, the chain breaker, the lamp on the mountain, the carrier of fire from the altar. Your name is not just a name, it is a declaration, an authority, a divine seal from the Most High, granting you power to enter new territories, to overthrow the forces of darkness, and to clear the path for others to walk into the light. Know this, I did not choose you because you were better than others, but because your heart was broken before my presence, because you did not deny my name when everything around you pressured you to do so, because while others chose the easy way, you chose to remain faithful, because in your woundedness, you still knelt, and when others gave up, you kept praying. And now, your reward is not the applause of men, but a revelation from heaven that you are not insignificant, but one appointed for eternal transformation. The mission you carry is unlike any other. No one else can replace your role in the great symphony of heaven. You may not be prominent in the eyes of the world. You may not hold status, fame, or influence by earthly standards. But in the spirit realm, every step you take shakes the territory of darkness. Every word you speak, when filled with the Holy Spirit, strikes at the strongholds of evil. Every time you pray with a sincere heart, heaven trembles and angels are dispatched. My child, I have given you the gift of discernment, sharp spiritual intuition, a vision that is not born of education but of revelation. While others see only circumstances, you will perceive purpose. Where others see limitations, you will see doors. Where people observe only the surface, you will discern the hidden current of the kingdom's operation. For I have not only shown you the truth, I have placed within you the very spirit of truth, so that you may not only know, but also embody, express, and illuminate it for others. You will no longer fight alone. The angels who once guarded you in silence will now move alongside you. Doors that were once firmly shut will yield at your touch. I have put my word in your mouth and my fire upon your tongue. I will send people before you, lost souls, the broken-hearted, those on the edge of despair. When you speak, chains will fall, healing will flow, and destinies will be born anew. Do not underestimate what I have entrusted to you. Whether it's a simple message, a grace-filled silence, or a quiet act of forgiveness, every act done in obedience carries eternal weight. You were not made to impress. You were made to shake the spiritual realm. The presence you carry will cause the enemy to retreat. Darkness will lose its grip wherever you step. For where you go in purity and obedience, my power will be released. This is not flattery, it is truth. Now is the time for your identity to be remembered, not for pride, but for preparation. For only when you know who you are can you truly know how to fight. Only when you know where you've come from can you walk boldly in the authority of the one who has sent you. Do not wait for others to affirm you. I have already affirmed you. Do not wait for circumstances to agree. I have already made a way. Do not compare. Walk forward with confidence. Your destiny does not require the world's permission. Write this deep upon your heart. You were created to carry out a unique assignment in this world. The name I have placed upon you is the key to every door you are about to walk through, and no power shall stand in the way of what I have ordained. Enter, my child. I declare, go, and live as one who has seen eternity. Walk as one who bears the light, speak as one led by my spirit, love as one who has been forgiven, and stand as one who knows their true worth. For from this day forward, you shall no longer live in illusion. Your true identity has been proclaimed, and from that identity, your mission will unfold without delay, without misstep. My child, when everything has been revealed, when your true identity has been etched into your soul, it will also mark the closing of an old chapter. What once bound you in fear, what once made your steps falter, the cycles of failure, delay, doubt, and confusion have all come to their end, not by your strength, but because I myself have come. My hand is upon your life. And now I declare, let the past be closed. For what I am about to do is entirely new. Do not look back. Do not grieve what has fallen away. Do not cling to relationships that were blessings for a season, but no longer align with the new one. Do not hold on to old roles, old reputations, old positions, or old ways of living. They were merely the pathway that led you to where I truly desire you to stand. What you have just come through is not an ending, but a divine transition. And from now on, you will no longer live under outdated definitions. I declare to you, a new era is unfolding before your eyes. A destiny not temporary. To but éternel. A journey not built on fleeting emotions, but grounded in obedience and my power. Picture yourself stepping through a door that only a call from heaven could open. Beyond that door are souls waiting for your appearance, lands crying out in the midnight hour, longing for someone to be sent, regions long held by darkness, now ready to surrender to the light you carry. And that light does not come from you, but from the one who dwells within you. I am the fire in your soul, the guide in your steps, the courage in your breath, and the life in every word you speak. I do not promise that every door will swing open instantly, but I do promise this: no door I have shut can be forced open by man, and no door I have opened can be closed by hell. I will go before you like a pillar of fire by night and a cloud by day. I will lead, protect, provide, and act if you remain steadfast. My child, eternal destiny is not built in a single night, but it is determined in a single moment, the moment you choose to trust. The moment you stop living for yourself and start living for the call. That moment has come, and now a journey with no turning back has begun. Gird your loin, keep your lamp burning, and guard your heart in purity. You are no longer one who follows others' expectations. You are a forerunner in the light of the kingdom. From this day forward, you will see everything begin to shift, not just externally, but deep within. Your thoughts will become clearer. Your spiritual discernment will be sharpened. You will be able to distinguish my voice from every counterfeit. What once confused you will become evident. Prophecies that once seemed distant will begin to unfold, and that which was buried under the ashes will rise again. as if I myself were breathing new life into every seed that has lain dormant through the long winter. I call you into a new establishment. You are not merely stepping into a role, you are stepping into a legacy. What you obey today will shape generations to come. What you are willing to surrender today will open the floodgates of blessing beyond measure. Do not think lightly of your choices. In my kingdom, every act of obedience sends spiritual shockwaves far greater than you can imagine. A simple prayer can shift the destiny of a nation. A single, unwavering step of faith can shatter centuries-old strongholds of darkness. Oh, my child, as you step out of the old cycle, do not forget to look back with gratitude, not to return, but to remember that every step was marked by my hand. The failures that once brought you shame will now stand as testimony of my transforming power. The tears you once shed in silence will now become living water to nourish the garden of your calling. The places where you were once rejected will now be the very places where you are welcomed with glory. For I am the restorer, the redeemer, the one who exchanges ashes for a crown of splendor. And finally, I say this to you, from this day on, no one can steal your faith if you place it in me. No power can hinder your mission if you let me steer the wheel. No circumstance can overcome you if you remember that you are called, chosen, and anointed. Live as one who belongs to an unshakable kingdom. Love as if time is running out. Walk as though heaven is waiting on you. Because truly, all of heaven is watching. And I, your God, am smiling. The old season has come to a close. Eternal destiny has begun. And I walk with you today, tomorrow, and forevermore. Thank you for receiving today's message. Click subscribe and turn on the notification bell to continue receiving living words, to build unshakable faith, and to walk in the boundless love of the Lord. Amen.